Cultural property refers to physical artifacts, sites, and tradition that hold significant meaning for a particular culture or community. This can include monuments, artworks, manuscripts, archaeological sites, and even intangible elements like traditional music and customs. Cultural property is often viewed as a vital part of the community's heritage, contributing to its identity and continuity. And in this presentation, we will tackle about the different aspects of cultural property. World Heritage Tourism refers to travel to sites recognized by UNESCO as World Heritage Sites due to their cultural, historical, scientific, or other forms of significance. This type of tourism focuses on preserving and promoting these unique locations, allowing visitors to experience their heritage while contributing to their conservation. It often emphasizes education, cultural exchange, and sustainable practices to protect the sites for future Calle Crisologo, located in Vigan, Philippines, is a prime example of a historic street that encapsulates the rich cultural heritage and architectural legacy of the region. It has earned its place as a UNESCO World Heritage Site due to its unique blend of colonial Spanish and indigenous Filipino influences, which reflects the complex history of the Philippines and the profound impact of colonialism. It is recognized as a World Heritage Site in its well-preserved Spanish colonial architecture. The street is lined with ancestral houses characterized by their sturdy adobe and brick structures, wooden beams, and intricate detailing. These buildings serve as an intangible link to the past, showcasing the architectural styles that emerged during the Spanish colonial period from the 16th to 19th centuries. The rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras, commonly referred as the Manawi Rice Terraces, are celebrated not only for their breathtaking beauty, but also for their profound cultural significance and sustainable agricultural practices. Recognized as the UNESCO World Heritage Site, these terraces exemplifies the ingenuity of indigenous community and their deep connection to the land, making them a vital part of the Philippines' cultural heritage. Carved into the mountains over 2,000 years ago, the terraces showcases the ingenuity of the Ifugao people, who transformed steep, inhospitable landscapes into productive rice fields. The Tubataha Reef Natural Park, located in the Sulu Sea in the Philippines, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site recognized for its extraordinary biodiversity and ecological significance. Tubataha is a prime example of a tropical marine environment that supports a rich array of marine life. Its designation is a World Heritage Site underscores its importance as a natural treasure and highlights the need for conservation efforts to protect this unique ecosystem. The park is home to over 600 species of fish, 400 species of coral, and numerous marine organisms, including the sea turtles, shark, and dolphins. This high level of biodiversity makes Tubataha one of the world's significant coral reef ecosystem, formerly known as the St. Thomas of Villanueva Parish Church, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in Miagao, Iloilo, Philippines. Its designation as a World Heritage Site highlights its role as a testament to the fusion of indigenous and colonial influences in Filipino culture as well as its enduring legacy in the community. Constructed between 1787 and 1797, the church is an excellent example of the Baroque style and adapted to local conditions. The use of coral stones and the incorporation of local materials reflect a blend of European design with indigenous craftsmanship. The San Agustin Church, located in the Intramuros, Manila, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site renowned for its historical, architectural, and cultural significance. Is the oldest stone church in the Philippines. It serves as a symbol of the country's colonial history and religious heritage. Constructed between 1587 and 1606, the church is a prime example of the Baroque style adapted to local materials and conditions. Its sturdy stone structure, built from coral reef and bricks reflects the innovative construction techniques used by early Filipino craftsmen under Spanish colonial rule. San Sebastian Church, also known as the Basilica of San Sebastian, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in Manila, Philippines. Renowned for its unique architectural style and cultural significance, this remarkable structure stands as a testament to the rich history and heritage of the Philippines. Completed in 1891, it is the only all-steel church in Asia. Designated in the Gothic Revival style by the Spanish architect Gennaro Palacios, the church's innovative use of steel as a primary building material distinguishes it from other churches in the Philippines, which are typically constructed from stone
Mabuhay!
or
Our
other.
next topic is National Cultural Treasures in Luzon. Luzon is the largest island in the Philippines and is home to a wealth of national cultural treasures that embodies the country's rich history and diverse heritage. Each treasure offers a unique glimpse into the past, showcasing the cultural significance and historical milestones that have shaped the nation. Our first example is San Agustin Church in Manila. The history of San Agustin Church was constructed in 1586. San Agustin Church is the oldest stone church in the Philippines and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is a prime example of Baroque architecture and has survived multiple earthquakes and wars. The church is famous for its intricate interior, including the beautiful wooden ceiling and historical murals. The historical landmarks. The San Agustin Museum showcases artifacts from the Spanish colonial period, including vestments, liturgical objects, and paintings that reflect the religious history of the Philippines. Our second example is Paway Church, or known as the San Agustin Church in Ilocos Norte. Its history was built between 1704 and 1710. This church is noted for its unique architecture characterized by massive buttresses and elaborate facades. It was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1993. The church was built to withstand earthquakes and features intricate carvings that tell stories from the Bible. Our third example is the Vegan Heritage Village in Ilocos Sur. Its history is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1999. Vigan is one of the best preserved Spanish colonial towns in Asia. Its unique grid patterns and the mix of Spanish and Chinese and indigenous architecture reflects the rich cultural history of the region. The town was established in the 16th century and served as a trade center. Historical landmarks. Calle Crisologo is one of the cobblestone street lined with ancestral houses built during the Spanish colonial period, showcasing architectural styles and lifestyle. Our fourth example is the Banawe Rice Terraces located in Ifugao. Its history is often referred to as the Eight Wonders of the World. These terraces were carved into the mountains over 2,000 years ago by the Ifugao people. They reflect a sophisticated agricultural system that utilized traditional farming methods. The rice terraces are not only a feat of engineering but also a vital part of the Ifugao culture. Historical landmarks. Banggaan Village is the traditional Ifugao village that showcases cultures, traditions, and the way of life of the indigenous people. For our fifth example is the National Museum of the Philippines in Manila. The history of it was established in 1901. The National Museum serves as the premier institution for preserving and showcasing Filipino cultural heritage. It includes several branches such as Museum of Fine Arts and Museum of Anthropology, housing a vast collection of artifacts, artworks, and historical documents. The historical landmarks. The National Museum of Fine Arts features masterpieces from renowned Filipino artists including Juan Luna and Fernando Amorsolo, highlighting the evolution of the Philippine arts. Our sixth example is Intramuros, located in Manila. Its history was built by the Spanish in the late 16th century. Intramuros, meaning within the wall, was the heart of Spanish colonial rule in the Philippines. The walled city served as the center of government, education, and religion and was heavily fortified with walls, bastions, and gates. Many historical events took place here, including the execution of Jose Rizal. Historical landmarks. Fort Santiago is a citadel and the site of Rizal's imprisonment before his execution. It features preserved structure, garden, and a museum dedicated to Rizal's life and legacy. In conclusion, the national cultural treasures of Luzon are vital markers of the Philippines' cultural and historical legacies. These sites not only preserve the stories of the past, but also inspire future generations to appreciate their heritage. By recognizing and protecting these treasures, we honor the rich tapestry of Filipino history and ensure that it continues to thrive for years
Good
to
day,
come.
I am Jana Rosario Talabang from BSTM 5A. National Historic Landmarks are the buildings, sites, districts, structures, and objects that have been determined by the Secretary of the Interior to be national significant in American history and culture. Many of the most renowned historic properties in the nation One of the examples of the historic landmarks in part of the Luzon are the Casa Manila, Rizal Park, and Aguinaldo Shrine. The Casa Manila or the Manila House is a living museum that features the lifestyle of the affluent Filipino during the late Spanish colonial period. Rizal Park is situated on the eastern shore of Manila Bay. The park plays a significant role in shaping the history of the Philippines. This shrine reaffirms Rizal's significance in the Philippine history. How his death served as the inspiration in the struggle for the Philippine independence. And the third one is the Aguinaldo Shrine. This shrine is the ancestral home of Emilio Aguinaldo, the only president in the first Philippine Republic. Moreover, we still have 3 remaining historical landmarks in part of the Luzon. So the fourth one, we still have the San Agustinian Parish Church. It was founded during 1576 by Augustinian friars. At the same time, the town of Bacolor was established. An earthquake in 1880 destroyed the original church, and the eruption of Mount Pinatubo buried it in 6 meters of lahar. And for the fifth one, we have the Cagsawa Ruins. The ruins is located in the municipality of the Daraga Albay. It is part of the Cagsawa Park, protected and maintained by the municipal government of the Daraga and the National Museum of the Philippines. And it's one of the most popular destinations in the area. And for the last one, we have the Baguio City Heritage Hill and Nature Park. It is a abandoned structure atop Dominican Hill, Baguio City, as it believed that numerous of individuals were tortured and killed within its wall.
National history shrines in the Philippines are sites designated to commemorate significant events, figures, and milestones in the country's history. These shrines serve as reminder of the nation's struggle for independence, cultural heritage, and national identity. Park or Luneta Park, dedicated to Jose Rizal, the national hero, and his legacy and the fight for Philippine independence. Next is Aguinaldo Shrine. It is located in Kawit, Cavite. This is where Emilio Aguinaldo proclaimed Philippine independence in 1898. Next is the Fort Santiago, which is a historic fortress in Manila that was part of defense during Spanish colonial rule.
So, here are some examples in National Historical Shrines in Luzon. The Pugatlawan Shrine in Quezon City commemorates the cry of Pugatlawan, where Andres Bonifacio and the Katipunan toured their cédulas, signaling the start of the Philippine Revolution in 1896. It is a symbol of the Filipino struggle for independence from Spanish colonization. The shrine stands as a tribute to the bravery and unity of the revolutionaries. Next is the Mount Samat National Shrine in Bataan. Honors the valor of Filipino and American soldiers during World War II. Particularly in the Battle of Bataan, the shrine features the dambana ng Katipunan Shrine or of Valor, which includes a large cross on Mount Samat. It serves as a memorial to the sacrifice made during the war. Last is the Bonifacio Shrine in Maragundan, Cavite, is where Andres Bonifacio, leader of the Katipunan, was executed in 1897. The shrine marks the controversial trial and death of Bonifacio, who played a crucial role in the Philippine Revolution. It is a reminder of his significant contribution to Philippine
A
independence.
national historical monument is a place, object, or structure that has been designated by a government as having significant historical or cultural value. These sites often commemorate important events, people, or periods in a nation's history. The government typically preserves and protects national historical monuments to ensure their continued existence for future generations. They often serve as educational and cultural resources, giving visitors a deeper understanding of the nation's past. Luzon is the largest island in the Philippines and is home to numerous national historical monuments that commemorate significant events and figures in the country's history. Here are some notable examples. The first one is Intramuros, Manila. It is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site and features numerous historical landmarks like Fort Santiago, San Agustin Church, and the Manila Cathedral. The second one is the Malolos, Bulacan, which is Baraswain Church was the site of the first Philippine Public Congress where the country's first constitution was drafted and ratified. Third one is the Corregidor Island in Cavite. The island fortress played a crucial role in the defense of the Philippines during World War II. It is now a historical shrine and features numerous military installations, museum, and memorials. Number 4 is the Vigan Ilocos Sur. The well-preserved Spanish colonial town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and it features cobblestone streets, ancestral houses, and a historic church, making it a popular tourist destination. The fifth one is the Baguio, which is located in Benguet. The mountain resort city was the summer capital of the Philippines during the Spanish and American colonial periods. It is known for its cool climate, pine forests, and historical landmarks such as Burnham Park and the Mansion House. These are just few examples of the many historical monuments that can be found in Luzon. Each monument tells a unique story about the Philippine rich history.
Relevant cultural agencies in Luzon. The following cultural agencies place different roles in preserving and ensuring that the heritage in the country is maintained. First one is the National Archives of the Philippines. So they preserve the primary sources of information on Philippine history, the basic components of cultural heritage, and collective memory. So they also guarantee that documents and records are preserved and accessible to the public. Second one is the National Historical Institute. So they undertake research and publication of Philippine historical works and educational activities on historical events and personages, restoration, preservation, and conservation of movable and immovable objects of historical value. So they also implement the National Historic Act of the Philippines. Third one is the National Park Development Committee. So they provide the general public with access to and enjoyment of an open park through well-managed and maintained facilities and structures, well-developed environment through landscape design and plant ornaments, while ensuring the orderliness of the parks as well as the safety and security
The
of
property
the park.
owner's right to petition is the legal ability of property owners to formally ask the government for the action or seek solutions to issues impacting their property. This can involve requesting changes to zoning, appealing regulations, or seeking permits. It empowers owners to voice their concerns and advocate for their interest in government decision-making processes that affect their property and its first example is the Intramuros in Manila. Intramuros is a historic walled city founded in the 16th century, serving as the focal point of Spanish colonial administration in the Philippines. Next is the Vigan City in Ilocos Sur. Vigan is a UNESCO World Heritage Site celebrated for its stunning Spanish colonial architecture and charming cobblestone church in Ilocos Norte, known as San Agustin Church. This 18th century structure is renowned for its unique earthquake Baroque architectural style. As a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it holds immense historical value and represents a key part of the Philippines' religious heritage. Next is the Mount Samat National Shrine in Bataan. This shrine honors the courage of Filipinos and Americans, soldiers who fought during World War II, reflecting its deep historical and cultural
Malacanang
importance.
Palace in Manila. Malacanang Palace is the official residence of the President of the Philippines and has played a pivotal role in the nation's history since the 18th century. Banawe rice terraces in Ifugao, often called the Eighth Wonder of the World. The Banawe rice terraces were ingeniously carved into the mountains over 2,000 years ago by the Ifugao people. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, they reflect the agricultural practices and cultural heritage of the indigenous
So let's
people.
talk about conservation management plan. We have here conservation, management, sustainability, and tourism. All of these are the key aspects of CMP. So we have here in conservation to preserve and the integrity, the authenticity of the cultural site. The value of the heritage site includes the physical restoration, maintenance, and protection of the site. We have also here the management, wherein there are guidelines on how to manage the site, including the flow of visitor, infrastructure, and the regulations. Of course, also we have here sustainability, wherein it focuses how to balance tourism with conservation by promoting practices that allows our tourists to visit and engage with the site. Okay? The last we have here tourism, wherein this plan also considers how tourism can benefit in the heritage. Of course, we have here economically and culturally. This includes to educate visitors about the site's significance rather, enhancing their experience and encouraging respect for the preservation.
Mabuhay! I am Janelan M. Nicolas from TM5A, and let's talk about privileges for cultural property in the Philippines. So, privileges for cultural property are specific benefits and protections granted to designated cultural properties to ensure their preservation and promote their value. These privileges encourage individuals and organizations to participate in conservation efforts and contribute to safeguarding
Luzon
the
is
nation's
the largest
heritage. Island in the Philippines. It's rich in cultural heritage with numerous historical sites and cultural treasures. Here are destinations in Luzon where these privileges are applied. So first is Vigan City in Ilocos Sur. This UNESCO World Heritage Site boasts well-preserved Spanish colonial architecture and traditional houses. The city benefits from government funding for preservation, tax incentive for private restoration projects, and strict regulations on development to maintain its historical integrity. So second is the Barasoin Church in Bulacan. This historical landmark, where the first Philippine Republic was proclaimed in 1899, is a National Historical Landmark. It receives priority government funding for maintenance and restoration, and any alteration or development around the church requires approval from the National Historical Commission of the Philippines. So third is the Intramuros in Manila. This walled city with its rich history dating back to the Spanish colonial period is a designated heritage zone. It benefits from government funding for conservation, strict regulation on development, and incentives for private restoration and projects. Fourth is the Banawares Terraces in Ifugao. This UNESCO World Heritage Site, known for its ancient rice terraces carved into the mountain sides, receives priority government funding for conservation, strict regulations on development, and incentives for community-based tourism initiatives. So the fifth is the Rizal Park in Manila. This large park, named after the Philippine national hero Jose Rizal, is a national park. It benefits from government funding for maintenance, strict regulations on development, and initiatives to promote public awareness and appreciation of its historical
Fourth is the Banawares
Terraces in Ifugao. This UNESCO World Heritage Site, known for its ancient rice terraces
carved into the mountain sides, receives priority government funding for conservation, strict regulations on development, and incentives for community-based tourism initiatives. So the fifth is the Rizal Park in Manila. This large park, named after the Philippine national hero Jose Rizal, is a national park. It benefits from government funding for maintenance, strict regulations on development, and initiatives to promote public awareness and appreciation of its historical significance. Sixth is the Binondo Chinatown in Manila. This historic district, the oldest Chinatown in the world, benefits from government funding for conservation, tax incentives for private restoration projects, and initiatives to promote cultural tourism. So, by understanding the importance of the cultural property and the privileges associated with it, individuals and organizations can contribute to the continued preservation of the Philippines' rich cultural legacy.
Cultural properties cannot be sold, traded, or exported without permission from the relevant cultural agency. The only exception is for scientific study or exhibition purposes. The first one is Biak na Bato National Park in Bulacan. Holds both natural beauty and historical significance. It was a revolutionary hideout during the Philippine Revolution, and its cave and landmarks offer a tangible glimpse into the country's fight for independence, making it significant cultural property. The second one is Clark Freeport Zone in Pampanga. A former U.S. military base is now showcase a fusion of American and Filipino influences, representing the country's moderations and cultural evolutions, making it a significant cultural property. The third is Taal Heritage Town in Batangas. This charming town, nestled near the iconic Taal volcano, offers glimpses into the country's rich history. It boasts a colonial-era structures, churches, and museums showcasing the region's unique cultural heritage. And the fourth one is Apolinario Mabini Shrine in Manila. This Bahay Kubo, once owned by a wealthy farmer, is a valuable example of traditional Filipino architecture. Its preservation is crucial for understanding the lives of ordinary Filipino in the past. For the fifth one, Casa Hildago in Bataan. This historic house, once home to renowned Filipino artists in Quiapo, Manila, now stands as a cultural landmark in Bataan, ensuring the continued existence. So for the last is Mount Pulag in Benguet. This popular hiking destination, the third highest mountain in the Philippines, needs a sustainable and responsible management to protect the Cordillera region's natural heritage. So preserving Luzon diverse cultural heritage, illustrated by this example, requires a shared responsibility involving government agencies, local communities, and individuals who value their cultural.
Now, let's talk about sale or resale of cultural property. Private ownership of properties with cultural or historical significance, not officially classified, may be sold or resold under the guidance of the cultural agencies like NCCA and the National Museum of the Philippines, including old houses or ancestral homes. We have here a 6 example of the cultural properties that can be sold. First is the ancestral houses in Vigan, Ilocos Sur. These Spanish colonial style homes are highly sought after due to their architectural and historical significance. Second is the Villa Vicencio Ancestral House in Taal, Batangas. This house is a well-preserved example of Spanish colonial architecture in the historic town of Taal. While some of the architectural homes in Taal have been turned into museums protected by heritage laws, other properties in the area may be privately owned and available for sale. Third is the old Spanish colonial house in Pila, Laguna. Pila is known for its well-preserved town plaza surrounded by old Spanish era homes. Some of these houses are privately owned, and those not classified as cultural treasures may be sold or resold by their is the ancestral house in San Fernando, Pampanga. This town of San Fernando is home for the number of heritage homes and buildings that date back to the Spanish and American colonial periods. Fifth is the Old Mansion in Malate, Manila. Malate, Manila is one of the historic districts with many old mansions and colonial houses. Certain private properties in the area, especially those that have not been declared as heritage sites, could potentially be available for sale, especially those built during early American period. Sixth is the colonial homes in Santa Ana, Manila. Santa Ana district is known for its old Spanish and American colonial homes, some of which are still privately owned, while many are protected. Some properties that are not under official cultural designation may be available for purchase. In these cases, it is important to confirm the legal status of any property with local authorities or heritage agencies before any transaction, as some buildings may have restrictions on alteration or sale due to their cultural significance.